a device. You're able to learn with us, and then you go to another level. At the end of the day, we are looking at equipping Africans with a cut-edge technology information, because where we are right now, we are in what we call a data-driven economy. So the data-driven economy runs on what we call the smart way of doing work. The proof of work, the proof of stake, smart living, sustainability, the future of money, the future of living, the future of transport, the future of raising capital. People have been known from one angle of going and borrowing. We studied about the sources of capital. If you want to start a business in entrepreneurship, where you look at assets, you can raise capital through bank loans, you can raise capital through friends and families. But now on the smart contracts of blockchain, it has been made easy. We have what we call tokenization. Once we have a project, that project is tokenized and you raise patient capital. We've looked at it in different angles. Many people have been able to raise funds on blockchain, in real estate, in identity, in storage, in transactions, among others. So let's keep in touch. I see many people are coming through. Oh, there are many live streamers that are participating. I don't know if you can hear me, please. Let our technical officer please help us. We want to know where you're coming from. Some of you are saying that the audio is not clear. Kindly let us know. Are you able to listen to us? We really want to go to another level with you. Is the audio clear? If you are able to type, please type. Eagle 3, you're saying that our audio is not clear. Kindly allow us to type. It is more clear? Great. So I once again welcome you. This is a marathon, and it's going to be jam-packed. Do not miss our first episode. Is going to focus on the education. Then on the second episode, we're going to host a gentleman all the way from Uganda. This gentleman is a blockchainer, and they have been able to put together a project where they have tokenized, they have built a digitization procedures on smart contracts and blockchain. So you'll be able to learn, because these series have been going on, and this is none other than Mr. Noha Balensamf. Is the head of digital technologies at Savannah Group of companies. So you're going to learn from him how blockchain is applied in KYC, KYB, and identity with digital, the digital identity. So kindly let us know, notify us where you're joining. You've tuned in from where? Kindly help me open that chat. We really want to know where people are tuning in from. The Zoom is perfect, awesome. But also tell your friends to go on, we are streaming live on one of our YouTube channel. Kindly tell people to go there, straight from Kawempe. Ewa champion Gudo. This is Sejemba Breezy, okay? You're welcome. Can we have other people? They're joining us from where? As our technical officer is trying to make it very important for you so that you are able to see. This is a night that is full of exposure. We really request you to sit down. We really request you to be on this, put in your focus, get a pen and a textbook, I mean your notebook, note something. The Chinese have a saying that says, the faintest ink is better than the sharpest brain of all times. So get prepared so that we move forward. Thank you so much. God bless you. We're going to have a word of prayer from one of you. The chat is disabled for me. Please, Crypto ED Uganda. How are you chatting? Get a very good phone. How is it chatting? And how are you chatting now? If it has been disabled. So please let us know where you are watching from, because this is a night of exposure. We really want you to get all the information. Okay, kindly, I'll talk to our technician. Please enable the chat. People want to send their whatever. Some people are saying that the chat is disabled. So, but I'm able to see from UG, but the chat is disabled. Is the video and audio disabled? Chadrum Zamil. Yes, we are using a webinar system. Of course, they're going to promote you to the chat as time goes on. But right now, our webinar system is only focusing on the leaders. The leaders are going to be promoted. The likes of Zowena from Kenya, Eri Bariki from Tanzania, and many others. So kindly let us have the chat on, but the videos will be promoted later. Okay, the chat is on. Kindly, let's have each one of you. Hey, Kampala Shafiq. Yes. If you're able to put it somewhere. Dan from Mbale. Sewamala from Kajansi, Mutukula Borders, Gaga, Jujunalia, Arua. Kindly share where you're watching from. Oriem, Mukono, Lira, Luwelo, Kampala, Chireka. Oh, these are all Lisbon, okay, Entebbe, Chiriandongo, Kigali, Rwanda. Amakuru yawe ni meza. Okay. We have a couple of guests tonight. There are people who are joining us from Kigali. And this is a team from Blockchain Vibes. There's a conference that is coming in the East African community. So the events are going to be in Rwanda, Kigali, Kampala, Uganda, and Nairobi. So we're going to have a couple of guests. United States. Yes, good morning from the United States. And kindly bear with us. We are trying to make sure that things are very perfect. I see a lot of leaders are joining us from the Zoom. I mean from the YouTube channel. Mr. Eri Bariki all the way from Tanzania. And of course a couple of leaders. You're welcome. I am mentioning this as we are promoting. If you're a leader, raise your hand. They're going to promote you to a speaker. To a panelist, yes. Andrew Senyomo, raise your hand. I see you somewhere. Peace Kobusinje, Peace Businje, raise your hand. I see a lot of people from Nairobi. I see a lot of people from Masaka City. Wow, this is amazing. You guys, we are proud of you. So let's keep moving forward. Let's keep moving forward. Whoever has, make sure that all the leaders are promoted to the panelists section. Allow them to be promoted. Eri Bariki. Our leaders also from Kigali and the team from Blockchain Vibes, raise your hands. They're going to promote you to a section of being panelists. So we have a section for panelists. Leaders from Kigali, Mr. Franklin Peters, kindly talk to everyone over that side to raise their hands. If you're a leader, kindly raise your hand. They are promoting you. And also a team from Savannah Group, kindly raise your hands so that we promote you. The likes of the group at Binusu, Tuzanye, among others. Raise your hands so that they promote you. And the team from Nile One, kindly also raise your hands so that we promote you to our panelists. So we look forward to organize all this in the next 5 minutes, and then we begin. Good evening, those of you who are watching us from Africa, and good afternoon, those people who have joined from the Europe, and our friends from US, United States of America, good morning. We are here in Kampala, Uganda, at our live streaming center. Mito Plus Labs has partnered with several other companies to make sure that information is free of charge. People get the right information about the Web3 ecosystem, because Web3, we are into a decentralized, autonomous organizations. And this is how, where wealth is created. We want to see that people become better. They create what we call patient capital in their pockets. We've had a number of challenges in Africa where people are not independent. They depend on one another. And also the purchasing power after COVID went down. So we designed a model that after our research, that internet has a number of opportunities that can accommodate more so the young people. So that's why we came through with this kind of a program to support and elevate the Black continent. Let me take it that way. So without wasting any more time, good evening, Mr. Do we have some people? Do we have some panelists here? Cool. Okay, let's go. Good evening, Mr. Andrew.
All right, Daniel, good evening to you. Am I audible?
Andrew, good evening.
Good evening to you. Am I audible now? Hello?
Okay, our virtual assistant is saying that some of them can chat from the YouTube if they can't access the Zoom.
Hello?
So please have a strategy. The same live stream that is on the webinar is also streaming live on the YouTube. So make sure that you go there, you chat from there. If you have a message you want to share, we'll be able to pick you. We can hear you audible enough. Yes, Moses, you're welcome. Peace, good evening. Yes, Andrew, good evening.
Yes, good evening to you, Daniel. I hope
How
you
are you?
okay, and everyone else. Yeah, I'm very fine.
Where are
Unfortunately, my
you?
network is a bit shaky.
Okay.
I'm in Kampala, but slightly outside Kampala. My network is a bit shaky today, but I'm trying to be interactive as I can. That is why I'm not sharing my video, but I'll be able to deliver even without the video very well.
Okay. Meanwhile, let me invite other leaders to say hi to us as you're preparing. Yes, peace, good evening. Atalia, good evening. Yes, Zawena, good evening. Peace, are you able to speak?
Just those three. Ask them to unmute. Just those three. Ask them to unmute.
Kindly, if you are given a chance, unmute yourself so that you speak.
No.
Let's try to keep time because we are running out of time. In the next 20 to 45 minutes, Andrew will also be done with the trainings. Then we run. Oh, Peace can't unmute herself. Try to help her, please.
She's not a panelist.
Okay, all leaders, please raise your hands so that they promote you. And once they ask you to be promoted, try to accept. Don't just wait. It will really help us. And also Chichoncho Janat is there. Allowed to talk, chat, promote. Great. They have enabled everyone to speak. So I want you to be... Yes, please. Start your video, please.
Good evening, everyone. Daniel, do you want me to pray for this?
Yeah, you're going to pray once you start on your camera.
Daniel, I am not able to put a camera right now.
Okay, let's go. Let's go.
Yeah. Okay, so good evening, everyone. Good evening, Africans. I hope you're excited. I hope you remain excited. Let me say a prayer this evening for all of us before we start our lessons. Father, in the name of Jesus, we thank you so much for this opportunity that you have given to us. We thank you for the leadership and the team at Mitro Plus Labs. We thank you for the people that you have sent us to impact, and in the same way they are going to go back and impact other lives. We pray, Lord, that you give us wisdom, that we will be able to carry on the mandate that you have put on our hearts. We pray, Lord, that you will be with us, that your Holy Spirit will overshadow us and lead us in each and every way, that you will lead and we will follow. Tonight and all the other nights and the rest of the days from today will be said that you led them, Lord. Thank you for you have heard us and answered our prayer. In Jesus' mighty name we have prayed with thanksgiving.
Amen.
Amen.
Thank you so much. Peace. Tell us briefly your position, your portfolio, and what do you think we need to engage more women in tech, innovative tech?
Okay, thank you, Daniel. My name is Peace Businje. I am African and particularly or specifically Ugandan. And I am a leader at MitroPlus Labs. I have been in the blockchain and cryptocurrency industry for a long time now, since 2015. And as a woman, I believe that this technology is very beneficial to all of us. And what we can do, we will create awareness, we will teach, we will avail ourselves, and we have benefited. Most of us really, as both men and women, have benefited from this technology. And according to me, we have just started. I feel like we haven't even gone halfway. So our stories, I hope, will impact and inspire more women. We don't have a problem sharing these stories. We are going to keep sharing. We are going to keep preaching and talking about this. And we hope that more women and more people and more Africans will be inspired enough and join us. Yeah, I also believe that for as long as people are benefiting, people are getting the right information and the right knowledge, and therefore the right results, automatically more people will join us. Thank you so much, Daniel.
Okay, thank you so much, Peace. Today, there's a bill that was brought to the floor of Parliament in Uganda here, where the clerk of the Parliament so they're about to regulate blockchain and also the virtual assets.
Yes, Mosh.
Already there is a circular going on. If you're in any group, please find it, learn something about it, so that you are not left behind. Finally, the government of Uganda is trying to come through on this engine. So let me cross to Andrew because of time. Then from Andrew, we'll cross to the leaders. I see a lot of leaders coming through from different countries. Eri Bariki in Tanzania, Zuena Rajab from Kenya, Chichoncho Janat from Uganda, Andrew Senyomo, and Peace. So let me cross to Andrew. Let me start with Andrew. Andrew, good evening. I think it's 8:30. So in the next 30 minutes, please carry us on in this class, so that by 9 sharp, we start our fellowship. So we request each one of you not to go off after the training, because we want you to learn about digitization on blockchain, KYC and addressing. Thank you so much. Over to you, Mr. Andrew.
All right. Thank you very much, Daniel. My name is Andrew Senyomo. Everyone here knows me. I've been a regular tutor at MitroPlus Labs.
Yes, Andrew, are you there?
Yes, I'm there. I'm there, Daniel. I'm there. My name is Andrew. I'm a tutor at MitroPlus Labs. I'm a blockchain enthusiast, and I'm going to take you through this session. So we've been learning so many things from, this is actually our second week, and this is the last day of the second week, Friday. We've come a long way. Just to do a small recap of what we have been learning, we have the last time we were together, we tackled tokenization. We talked about tokenization. We showed you a few examples of how tokenization works. We're also to show you and share with you knowledge on how you can use tokenization to make money. So it's going to be, this is really good for you. So some people are saying they are not seeing me. Yeah, because like I said earlier, I'm not turning on my video today. You have to just bear with me because my network is not the best today where I am. If I turn on my video, it's going to be a bit distorted and it's going to disturb the network. So bear with me today as I deliver, but everything is going to be delivered very well. Nothing is going to change. So we have been talking about tokenization last week, on Wednesday. We said, how does tokenization work? We gave a few examples of tokenization. I gave you an example of how a road can be built using tokenization. I gave you an example of how you can build a school and you tokenize the project. A hospital, how you can tokenize a hospital. And Festo came and give you other live examples of how you can, how other projects have been tokenized, like MetaHero, MetaVPad, and how to invest in those tokens and how to earn from them. And today's lesson, we are going to learn about exchanges. When I talk about exchanges, I talk about centralized exchanges and decentralized exchanges. Many people ask themselves, what are CEX and what are DEX? CEX, I'm saying CEX, these are called centralized exchanges, and DEX are called decentralized exchanges. Centralized exchanges have a central control. This like a regulator who is regulating that exchange, that platform. Some of these centralized exchanges include like Binance, Huobi Global, Gate.io, and so many others. Bitfinex, all those ones are called centralized what? Exchanges. Whereas decentralized exchanges, they do not have a central governing body, or they don't have an intermediary in between them. These are like, these include Uniswap, yeah, PancakeSwap, and so many others. So I think now we both know what are centralized exchanges and decentralized exchanges. I'll take some questions later, but since this class is going to be brief, because we are going to run it for around 40-30 minutes, and then we are having the fellowship after the class. So I'm going to be as fast as I can and on point, but it's going to be still in detail for you to be able to understand. So CEX is a centralized exchange, and DEX is a decentralized exchange. When we talk about CEX, what are the advantages? We need to understand what are the advantages of using CEX, centralized exchanges. One of the significant advantages of CEX is their user-friendly interfaces. So when you use Binance, Binance is so user-friendly. You log in very well. There is support, immediate support. The faster transactions. CEX offer faster transactions in time. They always have higher liquidity, yeah, on a wide range of pairs. Let me give you an example. When a coin is listed on a CEX, like let's say, I'm going to use an example of MetaVPad. When MetaVPad is listed on the exchange, like Binance has a lot of liquidity. You can easily sell out your coin into cash or into USDT, which doesn't happen on the DEX. Most of the time, DEX has a problem of slippage. Slippage is whereby you need a lot of gas, yeah? And also there has to be someone who is willing to take your offer to be able to do what? To buy your particular coin. So here, liquidity has to be balanced with the amount of, the supply has to be balanced with the amount of, the supply has to be balanced with the people on the network. But here in the CEX, or like in the centralized exchange, Binance can insert in more money to be able to help you liquidify your tokens faster. So these exchanges also have a robust customer care, which is very good. And this customer care, like in case you have a problem, you can easily email Binance or Huobi Global, and you are given advice on whatever problem you are facing. So also this helps them to make them more accessible for beginners who want to be able to navigate on those exchanges. However, SECs have also some disadvantages. Centralized exchanges have disadvantages like they are vulnerable to hackers. That is one. Whenever a hacker wants to, whenever money is stolen from an exchange, it is stolen not from the blockchain, but it is stolen from what we call the centralized exchange. It is stolen, maybe, I want to give an example, like Binance or Huobi Global or any other, like Bitfinex, all those are SECs, centralized exchanges. Money can be stolen. A hacker can easily tap into their system and takes away money from someone's account, but he cannot cheat the blockchain. But still, money can be traced through the blockchain from which wallet it traveled to which wallet it went to. But it has that problem, that drawback of being vulnerable to hackers. Secondly, they are often subjected to strict regulations and government interventions. Here, you will realize that last week we had a problem. Binance was sued by the by the SEC. So when I talk about SEC, you know it. That is the regulator in the US that is regulating crypto, the blockchain industries, being specific, the crypto industry. So these exchanges, the centralized exchanges, they are subjected to strict regulations. So anyone can come up, SEC can come up and say, we have canceled all the Binance activities in Nigeria. Yeah, we have canceled, we have ceased, or we have halted, or we have stopped this kind of, we have changed the operations of Binance in this particular country, which jeopardizes or disturbs a lot the people who are on that particular exchanges, on that particular exchange. So this also leads to a lot of potential downtime or restrictions, which is not good at all. So that is one disadvantage of these SECs. So when we look at, when I go to DEX are decentralized exchange, yeah? These ones, platforms where users can trade crypto directly without the need of any intermediary or central authority. These exchanges are based on blockchain technology, fully enabling peer-to-peer transactions, and they're often powered by what we call smart contracts. So these ones can include what we call, we are going to learn about them. We are going to learn about later in the future. We're going to talk about what we call MetaMask. MetaMask is one of the good DEX that you people, I'm going to introduce to you people. How do you integrate it in your computer? How do you store your funds? How do you access them? Things like Uniswap, yeah? Exchanges like PancakeSwap, all those ones, we are going to learn them, but they are all under the decentralized exchange. So one of the most and significant advantage of DEX is that they have a very, very, very high security level. Since user funds are not stored on the central location, they instead distributed across the blockchain. That is why it has that problem of what we call the slippage. Yeah. Here comes. Let me give you an example. If I have a particular coin on my MetaMask, and on the blockchain we have Daniel, we have maybe Festo, and maybe someone else, and I want to be able to sell off my cryptocurrency from one MetaMask wallet to Daniel's MetaMask wallet, and I want to buy Tether with it. If I have 1,000, if I want $1,000 Tether from Daniel, and Daniel doesn't have it, or Festo doesn't have it, there will be a problem. My money cannot be sold so that I can get $. Tether. So this is a very strong point of transparency because it works on the blockchain. All right. Another thing about DEX, they are the DEX offer greater privacy since they do not require KYC, checkups, or personal information. Yeah. SEX always, for example, like Binance, you have to do your KYC. KYC is know your customer, and you have to do your KYV, or KYV is know your vendor. But on DEX, these ones don't require KYC or personal checkups to trade. Then DEX are more decentralized and less susceptible to government intervention or shutdowns. So government cannot easily intervene and shut down these particular exchanges. That is the advantage of using these DEX. And I've given you a few examples of the DEX. We have the Uniswap, MetaMask, and also we have things like the PancakeSwap. So what are the disadvantages of DEX? DEX are still relatively new and have severe disadvantages, actually. They are not very user-friendly, yeah? They are challenging for beginners. That is one thing that I know about these DEX, and they often offer low liquidity since users don't provide liquidity through smart contracts. Then also, these transactions sometimes take longer and they have a problem of what we call slippage and high fees. Let me give you an example. When you're transferring on a SEX, a centralized exchange, even if you are moving money, let's say $1,000 US or $1 million US to another Binance account, it will always cost you $1 on a US dollar on a Tron network. That is a TRC20 network. On a ERC20 network, Ethereum network, it may cost you maybe around $20. Yeah, the fees are a bit low. $1 transferring $1 million, it is really, really a good deal. But when it comes to decentralized exchanges, you will need gas fee, which is a lot. Most of the time, your gas fee has to be in Tron, or it has to be in what? In Ethereum. So this gas fee makes it a bit expensive for you to transfer on decentralized exchanges. So let me go to security. I think everyone has gotten me there. You'll ask me questions, then I'll answer them. Let me talk about security when it comes to SEX and DEX. So SEX are generally considered less secure. That's what I told you, because they are vulnerable to hackers. And DEX, since they're centralized and hold users' funds in central location, SEX are often targeted by hackers, leading to theft and losses. In contrast, DEX offer greater security since they do not store user funds in a central location. So we've talked about security, we've talked about the liquidity, we've talked about fees, and then also the user experience. Generally, SEX has a greater and user-friendly experience, like I've told you. So you guys can also look through that and then you see which one is better, SEX or DEX, to be able to use. And I've also showed you the differences. So when it comes to trading, of course, SEX is better than DEX because SEX will give has integrated trading tools. The way you see Binance has already integrated what we call the trading view in their chart. So you can be able to use the candlesticks, to use the indicators, all your financial indicators, which does not happen in DEX. DEX, most of the time, we just hold in our money there and we keep it in there for a longer period of time. We don't trade, we just hold it in there, but we can just swap. Maybe in case you want to buy into, if you have US dollar tether and you want to buy Ethereum, you can just go ahead and do what? And swap, which doesn't happen in the SEX exchange. You have to buy or you have to sell, which costs only $1. I'm going to focus today on one SEX, that is Binance. Actually, two, or I'm going to use Binance and Huobi Global. Let me share my screen. We have a look at these examples very well. Just a minute. Log into Binance. Let me share my screen.
In the meantime, as you're...
Are you seeing my screen, everyone?
As you're sharing a screen, we have a couple of guests who are joining us, a team of from Rwanda, they paid a visit for the East African market. Of course, they're going to say hi to us and what they've prepared in stock. So try to be a little bit faster as your internet is also getting better, sir. Thank you. Yes, Andrew.
I didn't hear that properly. What did you say? He said.
Yeah, you can carry on. Probably your internet is a bit shaky,
Right.
but we look forward to have a better presentation from you. Andrew.
I don't know. Yeah, like I told you earlier today, my internet is not went. Yeah.
Okay.
Hello, Daniel. Am I there?
Let's get back to you in brief as you're
Daniel, am I there?
As you're restarting your device. Kindly let me cross over to Franklin Peters just to say hi to us. Reload your device so that the people here are able to listen to you. Right now, a lot of feedback is not good. Your device has an issue. So let's cross to Franklin Peters. Good evening, my brother. Finally, you are in East Africa. Is it your first time or your second time?
It's my first time in East Africa, and it's been an amazing experience. I feel like I'm home. It
You
doesn't
can
feel
raise your
different
voice. You're a bit low.
Okay, okay. I'm used. Okay. Can you hear me now?
Live from a live studio.
Yeah. Can you hear me now? Yeah. Is it clear now? Hello.
Yes, we can hear you well.
Clear.
Please carry on. Turn on your
Awesome.
camera.
So I said that. Yeah, I said that it's a very amazing experience. I've been in East Africa for about 1 week now. This is my first time of coming here, and it feels like home. I mean, I live in Dubai. I've been to several other parts of the world. I was in Jitex last month at Morocco, and there is no place like home, I must confess. So I since I've been in Rwanda, I feel really comfortable. I've met with amazing people. I've been able to have several meetings with some government officials with regards to our upcoming event. And I'm super excited to be here. But what's most exciting is the fact that we are bringing one of the biggest, I think is the biggest digital innovation summit in Africa to Rwanda, Uganda, and Nairobi, Kenya. We are doing this for the first time in East Africa. We had the first version of it in Nigeria, where we brought Da Vinci J15, the man that told people to buy Bitcoin at $1 as far back as 2011. He came to Nigeria. He came to Africa for the first time, and he came to Nigeria. And it was as a result of the event we had. We brought Moonkal, one of the youngest crypto millionaires that have been helping a lot of people learn how to trade futures. We brought Grey BTC. We brought Futurist Kwame. I almost wanted you to come, but you were not able to come. So we are now bringing, they say if Mohammed cannot go to the mountain, mountain will go to Mohammed. So we are now bringing it right to your doorstep. So on the 6th of next month, July, we're going to be having our event, Digital Youth Conference in Kenya. at University of Nairobi, or we are going to announce the actual location in case there's anybody in Kenya here. You can follow up with us. And the next day, which is on 7th of July, we'll be having Digital Youth Forum in Rwanda. We're using, of course, the foremost KCC, that's the Kigali Convention Arena, which is one of the, I think is the most expensive building in the whole of Africa, right? So we're going to be using that location for the event. We are expecting top, government executives, CEOs, and lots of people from Nigeria to come over, even other parts of the world. We have VCs from East Africa, VCs from Asia, VCs from Uganda, from Dubai, coming over for this event. We are going to be giving out funding and grants to startups who are going to be pitching. And if you're able to win, you can win as much as $1,000 up to $10,000, depending on the amount. And then after that, we'll be heading over to Uganda, your home, for the conference and award night. We're happy to be partnering with Metro Labs as well as NIONE for that. And we're going to be streaming all these events globally, so people will be able to watch from wherever they are. We'll be awarding top startups with amazing products, with some award. We're going to be, recognizing them, and we'll be awarding them for putting Africa on the map of the world. So I want to use this opportunity to invite everybody on this call. So whether you are in Uganda, Rwanda, Nigeria, Kenya, you are invited. So feel free to visit the website blockchainvibes.com, blockchainvibes.org, ORG, and you can register from there. It will take you to Eventbrite, so you can register and get your tickets. It's free of charge, so make it a date with us. I just wanted to use this opportunity to tell you that, and also appreciate my friend Molundo for always being there for us.
Much, Peter. We look forward to have you in between, so that we also promote the Africa's startups to the world.
Thank
Send our
you
regards
so
to the president of Rwanda, Paul Kagame.
We'll do that. We'll do that 100%.
Okay, thank you so much. Let's continue with our class. In the meantime.
All right.
Cheers.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much, Daniel. And sorry for that.
Mr. Andrew?
Yes, I'm there, Daniel. Thank you very much.
I hope you've restarted your device, and it's now very clear for the listeners.
Yeah.
And
it was very clear also initially.
Live.
It was very clear also initially. Just maybe when I started sharing my computer screen.
Let's continue, please. Thank you.
All right, I'm sharing my screen so that we can have a look at what I'm trying to talk about. So this is Binance, one of the centralized exchanges that we all know. We are going to have a detailed, when we start trading, we shall go in detail and see what Binance is. What is Binance? Who is the person behind Binance? And how to use it. How do you open up an account with Binance? I expect everyone here on this call, in this class, to be able to open up an account of Binance as homework. Everyone, if you don't have an account of Binance, please make sure you get one. It's easy to open up an account of Binance. You just come to binance.com here, then you come, then you somewhere here, then you log into your account. You open up an account, you sign up, then you're able to log into your account. I'm not going to open up my account onto the screen because of security reasons, but let me just show you how Binance looks like. So apart from Binance, we have other exchanges that are DEX exchanges, that are centralized exchanges. Exchanges are like we have a Bitfinex. This one here. It's a centralized exchange. You can also use it for trading. I've given you the advantages and disadvantages of using these centralized exchanges. So apart from Bitfinex, we have what we call, I hope you're writing them down. You can use Huobi Global. Huobi Global. Huobi is all over Africa. There's Huobi Nigeria, Huobi Africa. There is Huobi China, Huobi, so many others. So this is Huobi for you. I hope you are seeing. This is how it looks like. This is another example of a centralized exchange. They have a system that is governing all the trades that are done on that particular exchange. They are not decentralized. Funds are not reflected on every wallet the way you see decentralized exchanges. This is Huobi for you. We have a very popular one known as BitGet. BitGet is a very big company. It is also a centralized exchange. This is BitGet for you, as you can see. Please, I would advise, let us use Binance for now, though I am just showing you these other ones so you can just know how they look like. Yeah, so this is BitGet. You can also sign up and also start putting in your funds. But remember, like what I've said, wait, we start the trading lessons, then we shall be able to go in depth of these particular exchanges. So these are some of the centralized exchanges or SEX. So let me look at what we call the decentralized exchanges. I talked about MetaMask. We shall have a full topic about MetaMask. Yeah, this is MetaMask. I'm sure many of you people have seen this MetaMask thing here, like this icon of a wolf. This is MetaMask. MetaMask are used basically for so many things, for storing DeFi, Web3 dApps, and NFTs. We shall have a full, we use them so much in buying NFTs on what we call OpenSea and other NFT platforms. So you put your Ethereum on the MetaMask, then it is easily integrated into your computer so that when you log on to your OpenSea website and you want to transfer NFTs, money for your NFT, it is made easy in that way. So we are going to look at MetaMask in detail. How do you add your MetaMask wallet on your computer? We shall have that particular topic. And how do you transfer funds from one MetaMask wallet to another? And how do you connect your MetaMask to an NFT platform like OpenSea? And how do you buy and sell NFTs? And how is your money deposited and withdrawn? Okay, so that is one. Then we are going to look at another decentralized exchange. It's called Uniswap. Yeah, Uniswap is very good. It looks like this. We shall see how we use Uniswap and how do we integrate Uniswap in our MetaMask so that we can be able to buy some coins, yeah, from Uniswap and we store them on our MetaMask. All right, all these ones are blockchain-based, decentralized exchanges. We have what we call PancakeSwap. PancakeSwap. This is PancakeSwap for you. I'm not opening up them in detail, but I hope you are noting them down. Remember what we told you, that have a pen and a book. Be able to write these things down. After the lesson, you should be able to go and do your own research. Yeah, learn how to read about the PancakeSwap, read about the MetaMask, read about the Uniswap as decentralized exchanges. Read about Huobi Global, read about Binance, and read about others as centralized what? Exchanges. So these are some of the decentralized exchanges, and there are so many others. So now we've covered exchanges, and I would want to open up for questions. Then we can go for the fellowship. All right. Mr. Daniel? Hello?
Thank you so much, Mr. Andrew. Kindly, I'm going to read the questions here. People are able to send them via our Q&A. Then afterwards, you're able to reply most of them. You can go to the
as
chat.
they're sending it, as they're opening the questions, I would want to welcome Mr. Festo Ivaibi to join me so that we can take on the next part together.
Someone
Welcome,
is
Mr.
asking
Festo.
you that, is Bybit good for trading?
Yes, Bybit is good for trading, although I'm not sure if it is supported in Africa, in Uganda, basically. You need to read about it more. You just go on Google, then you can also read about it. I've not used it before, but maybe someone else has used it before.
Okay, Crypto Eddie UG is asking, is OKEX okay? I see on Twitter.
Or what?
Is OKEX trading platform?
OKEX trading platform, I'm not well versed with it, but you can just go on the internet and search about it. I'm not very versed with many exchanges. Like me, also, I know a few that I've been using on my fingertips. Webby Global, BitGate, Binance, and Bitfinex, and maybe Coinbase. But Coinbase is no longer working in Uganda, and
Asima God
no
is
longer use
asking
it.
you that is keeping on sex funds safe for long term? Keeping your
Yes.
money, this is what she meant. Keeping money on a centralized exchange, is it safe for long term?
Yes, it is very safe. Yeah, for keeping, it's very safe. But like I've told you, sex comes with some drawbacks, like it's vulnerable to hackers. Yeah, that is one. Then secondly, these exchanges have a problem with restrictions. Yeah, the SEC, when the SEC comes in, it attacks them, it brings down regulations, and then sometimes those particular exchanges can leave that country, and then maybe like the way you saw Nigeria when SEC came and said that please we are halting all the Binance operations here in Nigeria. So those are the only drawbacks. So it is safe to keep long term, to keep your money on a centralized exchange for long term, but there are those drawbacks that you need to know at the back of your mind.
Great. So we are sending more questions. Dennis Stock is asking that, where do you classify cheaper cash, SEX or DEX?
Cheaper cash is not a DEX. Yeah, it is under SEX because it's centralized. It is owned by someone out there who manages those transactions. They are not on the blockchain. They are not recorded fully on the blockchain.
Another question from Crypto Eddie. Are there any opportunities for getting interested for crypto stored in decentralized exchanges? He's trying to say that are there interests? For example, if he goes to a decentralized exchanges and he stores his crypto there.
So he wants to know if you can make a profit on that.
Yeah, on the storage.
Of course, the only profit you can make is when the price of that particular asset goes up. I think that is it. I don't see any other way of making profit on storing your crypto. So definitely when the price of the asset goes up, definitely you'll make a profit.
Then let me cross to Rita Luleva. She's asking that, what is needed to open up an account on Binance?
It's very simple. You go to Binance.com, you go to sign up, put in your the only thing you need is an email, a computer and internet. When you go to Binance.com, you sign up, you are given an account, then you can be able to get what we call a wallet ID. Then you can be able to deposit money on that wallet ID.
Okay, I am very sorry. I'm trying to rush because of the time. Our fellowship is about to begin, but let me read through some of the questions. I see Festo is here. Probably is gonna start from there. Hi, Festo. Good evening.
Good evening, Daniel. How are you?
Very fine. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you as well.
So I'm trying to send some of the questions, but I believe you're going to answer some of them, and you take it from there as we are crossing to the fellowship. So, oh, you've closed. Now let's have the questions. Someone is asking here, because this is how we are interacting. How is Trust Wallet related to Binance?
How is
oh, sorry.
how is Trust Wallet related
To Binance.
Yeah, Trust Wallet is actually Binance's official cryptocurrency wallet, and
Okay.
Trust Wallet supports over 65 blockchains and access to about 4.5 million crypto assets. So most wallets that Binance has or gives us as people that use the Binance cryptocurrency exchange are pointed to the Trust Wallet to the blockchains through Trust Wallet. Usually, most centralized exchanges point towards decentralized exchanges. So yes, Trust Wallet is connected to Binance in that way. Trust Wallet is the official wallet, official cryptocurrency wallet to Binance.
Thank you so much. So the other question is there any decentralized protocol we can use to trade perpetual? This question is coming from Eagles 3.
Andrew passed you guys through the CoinMarketCap. You just have to go look up perpetual and then go to markets, and then you will see the decentralized exchanges that trade perpetual.
Awesome.
Actually, most decentralized wallets, most decentralized exchanges trade most of those tokens that have not yet gone so much mainstream.
Awesome. So the other question is from David Otto. Is it possible to trade within your decentralized exchange, or it's only possible in the centralized exchange? As you are also starting your video.
Come again with the question.
Okay. Is it possible to trade within your decentralized exchange, or it's only possible in centralized exchange?
Sometimes some decentralized exchanges have APIs to centralized exchanges, because a lot of people trade on centralized exchanges, and getting their data or being a part of their trades gives you the leverage to trade more volumes. So the use of APIs makes it possible to trade and interconnect the two.
Thank you.
Just to comment on that.
Let me go to Andrew. You want to say something?
Yeah, I was commenting on that. Also, that this like I said earlier, you can the only way of trading on decentralized on decentralized exchange is swapping. You can just swap easily from one currency to another, and you are charged with a gas fee. That is the only way maybe you can trade through swapping. But centralized exchanges offer you a full trading tool, like a trading view, for you to be able to trade your crypto assets very well.
Okay.
Some decentralized exchanges are actually coming up with APIs that get you to trade directly from centralized exchanges.
Yeah.
Okay. Let me go to Jay. Jay is asking, no, Kabuye, how do I liquidate on DEX?
Through swapping. You can swap your coins or your tokens to USDT. This is how you liquidate. Then you can be able to sell the USDT through an agent or someone that wants to buy the USDT.
Let me
DEXs
go to
usually, the DEXs usually are not connected with any banks. That's why they are called DEXs.
Let me go to Usurwa. Ibrahim, is Chipper Cash good to use? Because I bought some coins using it.
Chipper Cash is, to me, it's African, and I think it's okay to use depending on the volumes of the money that is put there. But remember, whenever you're using an exchange, you're banking on their administration behind it. Myself, I haven't followed the administration of Chipper Cash very well, and it has had some hurdles. And to me, I have different experiences with exchanges. Chipper Cash has been. There was one time I was trying to experiment something on it, and it was quite slow for me. So this is my personal experience. I'm not saying it could be everyone's experience, but it was quite slow for me. And I also have several experiences with Binance. And if I could name my favorite exchanges, probably they wouldn't come to the first two. So it's okay to trade with Chipper Cash, but they don't have many pairs you might want to trade. Actually, it depends on how much you trade, which pairs you want to trade. There are some pairs that get us to trade on several other exchanges because these other exchanges do not have these other pairs. But for as long as you can have your own wallet, and no, this is my wallet where I keep my assets. After trading, you bring back your wallets to that particular asset.
Awesome. Let's have other questions from different countries for the purposes of gender balance. Balancing. Kindly scroll a bit. I want to pick a few questions so that we cross. I lost my wallet.
Lester says he has a bad experience with Chipper Cash. Please, can you write it down there? Because this is a sharing session. Write it down there. Let's see which experience you had there.
I lost my Trust Wallet safety questions. Can I still recover my wallet? If yes, how? This is Desh, Uganda.
Come again?
Desh, Uganda is saying that he lost his Trust Wallet safety questions, the phrases. Can he still recover his wallet? If yes, how?
If you lose the safety questions, it's usually very hard to recover your wallet. It's not impossible, but extremely hard. And it might take a lot of time to pursue a recovery on trust on decentralized exchanges. So actually, some people say it's impossible, but I've seen it done before. But I could say it's not impossible, but it's extremely hard.
Okay, let me cross to the YouTube channel because also there are a couple of people who are joining us from there. So Marvin Viaba is asking that can Binance let me withdraw over $1 billion US? You are too ambitious, Marvin.
I think that depends on your jurisdictions because usually centralized exchanges also they tend to follow the financial policy of certain countries where they operate. So if your country can allow you to withdraw over 1 billion at a go, there you go, you will have it, I think. But in some countries, there's a threshold at which you have to withdraw a certain number of dollars. And there are also other things to consider. Can your bank take $1 billion? If it cannot take $1 billion, obviously you cannot be able to withdraw the $1 billion. But if you're withdrawing it from wallet to wallet, I think usually it's possible, depending on your KYC with Binance.
Then there's another question again. What if Binance closes? What if Binance closes in Uganda with my money in it? Do I recover it? So this person is trying to ask that what if a centralized exchange like Binance closes in Uganda? Is he able to recover his funds?
Usually, when an exchange is closing, they usually communicate for people to withdraw their funds. Like, for example, when Coinbase was closing to operate in Uganda in Africa, it made communications through different emails, and also told people to withdraw their funds, and he told people they can no longer deposit. I think that is still the status with Coinbase. So that is what usually happens. But there are some exchanges that have malfunctioned or malplayed people. This is why we tell you that you always have to follow. You always have to at least sign up with at least the first 5 biggest exchanges. And if you are able, you buy yourself an offline wallet, a gadget where you can keep your cryptocurrencies offline, or you can use the decentralized exchanges.
Martin Oscar is asking that, can I have a demo trading account on Binance?
I'm not sure. Demo trading accounts have always been mostly with Forex trade, but you can. I'm really not sure with Binance. Demo trading account, that means they give you demo money, but you can actually make practice shots in Binance without using any amounts of money. Practice analyses, because that's what the demos usually are for.
Okay, someone is asking that what's the difference between MetaMask and Trust Wallet?
They are both decentralized exchanges that are of different domains. The MetaMask domain is, I think, metamask.io, and Trust Wallet is Trust Wallet, I think .io.com, something like that. So they are different, but they do the same work. They all point to the Bitcoin blockchains and several other blockchains. Like, for example, Trust Wallet has over 65 blockchains it points to, and also MetaMask has a lot of blockchains it points to. That's the difference.
Okay, those of you who are watching us from the live stream, I mean the webinar, kindly share your questions, because this is a Q&A session, as we are also covering people on the YouTube channel. We are also thinking of you. So tell your friends to share. So Desh is asking that very often Mr. Festo talks about offline wallets. Do you mind giving us some examples?
There is one we call the Nano Ledger. The Nano Ledger looks like a flash disk. If you can Google what a Nano Ledger is, you will see it. I think it's technology from Germany. It looks like a flash disk. You can always download and upload your cryptocurrencies on it. Onto also the exchange, and also Tezos. Those are hardware wallets. Those are some of the examples of the hardware offline wallets.
Okay. Let me go to the Q&A session. Where does Trust Wallet fall? Is it also DEX?
Andrew, you want to take that one?
Yeah, it is a DEX, like Festo mentioned earlier. I think it's the second time this question is being answered. It's being asked.
Okay, let me ask another question here. William Juko is asking that, is it possible to recover your funds in case you haven't sent, is it possible to recover your funds in case you have sent to a wrong address under SEX?
I think it's not possible, but it is also very unlikely that someone can send to a wrong address. An address usually is an alphanumeric or figure that takes upper cases and lower cases, and usually 25 numbers. It's very much unlikely that you're going to send to a wrong address and send to an existing address. You can send to a wrong address, but it's in most cases that that address is going to be non-existent. I don't know if other countries somewhere had an airtime system. The airtime system in Uganda we used to use scratch cards, and scratch cards were a combination of, I think, about 10 numbers. and you could try to formulate up a number to look like the one on your scratch card, and you could not get exactly, you could not get a scratch card that could give you the credits. So it's the same thing. You might send to a wrong wallet, but it might not be. There's a very big chance that you will not send to any existing wallet that looks like that. It's very difficult to get an existing wallet just formed out of your head. So you can, if you send to a wrong wallet, that means someone has ever given you that wallet, and you can look for who gave you that wallet and ask for your funds back.
Thank you so much.
It is still possible to send to a wrong wallet.
Thank you so much.
You cannot rule out that it's impossible. It's difficult, but it's possible.
All right. Thank you so much, Mr. Festo. We have a couple of questions. We have a couple of questions here, and I'm afraid we need to cross to the fellowship. Of course, we're going to answer in our next segment the rest of the questions. Would you mind with that?
Yes, sure. Let's do it.
Great. So our chief guest, our guest is also here, Mr. Noah Balensamv, the head of technologies at Crypto Savannah. He has just raised his hand, and our team is here, is trying to connect him to, try to promote him. Thank you so much for tuning in, Mr. Noah Balensamv. You are allowed to speak, you are allowed to share your video, because this time round, we need to come to the conclusion of this topic. We started it, and a couple of people have been asking a lot of questions in between. So we want to make sure that those questions, yes, this is good. So on this side we have Festo, and on the other hand we have Noah. So good evening, Noah. Praise the Lord.
Amen. Praise the Lord. Good evening. How are you?
You can say hi to the people. We have a couple of people who have joined us on they are on live stream on our webinar and also on our YouTube channel. You can say hello to them.
Awesome. Hi, everyone. It's a pleasure to be here. Great to see you, Festo, again.
Great to see you too.
Great. Glad to be here.
Thank you so much. First and foremost, we would like to thank you so much for being part and parcel in the creation where you and the team, Mr. Kwame, you came through with an idea that let's focus on identity on blockchain. So that is number one. Number two, coming through so that we share this package to the world, the rest of the world. There are many people who have seen it, and our previous space, even the minister, the Minister of Technology, Science and Innovation, Dr. Musenero, was amazed about the innovation. So kindly, for a brief background, tell us who is Noah and what project we have, what is it all about? Because there are few people who have joined us and they are new on the forum.
Great. Thank you, Daniel. It's a pleasure being here again. To everyone who's joining in, those who are live on Zoom and those ones who are live on YouTube. It's good to be here. So thank you for creating the space. My name is Noah Balensamv. I'm the head of technology at Savannah Group. Savannah Group is a group of companies that is leveraging emerging technologies to solve problems in different sectors, in different areas of the economy, locally in Uganda and in Africa, and internationally. We have our sites set for the rest of the world. So we started out with with crypto, our first business was a crypto exchange called Binusu, which still exists to this day, and is working, is alive and well, and growing. Then, after building that, we discovered that blockchain can do much more than just facilitate, crypto transactions. We discovered that blockchain can be very pivotal in doing things like tokenization, being able to represent real-world assets in the digital space while retaining its value. We saw that blockchain can also unlock opportunities in identity. It can do identity in a very unique way, where you can share your credentials securely while maintaining very high privacy as enshrined in our data privacy laws. Blockchain can also do interesting things around traceability. Because of its decentralized and open nature, you're able to integrate it with multiple data sources, while those data sources remaining autonomous within their jurisdiction. So, for example, you can get competitors to share specific amount of specific data without exposing this data to each other. And so you find that it's a very powerful tool in spaces that where the regulation, you're regulating very big competitors like banks or telcos, which is the use case we are currently deploying. Among many other ways in which blockchain can be used, smart contracts, we know all these things that a blockchain can unlock. And so that is a brief about Savannah. So in all these spaces, we have businesses that are doing work there. In tokenization, we have a real estate business called Redex. And what it does, it represents a fractional investment in real estate. So you can buy tokens that represent your ownership of a real estate property, and your shareholding of those tokens allow you to earn rental income pro rata on the number of tokens that you hold. We have a business called Walimi, and Walimi is in the agri business, is in the agri value chain business. Not only is it a marketplace, but it also offers traceability of the produce that is sold on Walimi right as far back as we can. And our vision there is to be able to have traceability from the farm to the time that it comes to your table, from farm to fork. Another thing that Walimi is also trying to achieve is to decarbonize the agri-value chain. A lot of our food is planted and harvested in ways that add carbon into the environment. And so one of the things that we are keen on doing is to participate in activities and practices that reduce the carbon, because agriculture is one of the first industries that are affected by climate change. And so an example of some things that we are doing is that we use electric bikes for our delivery, and we want to work upstream. We envision a future where farmers will be using electric tractors, electric thrashers, and to remove fossil fuels from the entire agricultural value chain. And so that's something that Walimi is doing. Then there is Crypto Savannah, which is the business that I'm here to talk about. Now, Crypto Savannah, its core business is in identity and the KYC. And what we do is that we leverage the powers of blockchain to be able to form digital identities. And not only that, also be able to unlock things like authentication as a service. You're able to have services that do like KYC as a service. So you're able to sell KYC services to other fintechs or other startups or other organizations that don't want the overhead of having to hold personal data. And we'll discuss this a bit more. So Crypto Savannah is in the digital ID and KYC business, building solutions and products around digital identities built on a blockchain. We have others like Tuzanye. Tuzanye is very interesting because we are into gaming, and so we run a sports company that is invested in esports. One of the things that Web3 brings is the ability to play to earn. And so when you say play to earn, it sounds strange to some people because it's the third evolution of gaming. So gaming started out by being pay to play, the traditional PlayStations and Nintendos, where you have to pay money and you buy the game and you play it, and it created an ecosystem where you had to pay for the games that you're playing. That then led with the advent of mobile technology like mobile phones. We had now games that are play for free. You know, your Candy Crush, etc. These ones where you play and it is free to play. You know, Fortnite, it's free to play and it's social in nature. Now we are moving towards where play to earn, where you're not only free to play, but you are rewarded for the in-game benefits that you get as you play along. So if you win, if you progress to certain levels, you are able to earn from that. And so that is play to earn. And so we have a business called Tuzanye that is in that play to earn business. And yeah, the others are like at Savannah Advisory, where we help organizations make sense of changing technologies and how they can strategically participate in the fourth industrial revolution. So we give them advice and consulting services. Okay. Yeah, so those are the portfolio of businesses that you find in the Savannah Group. And there are others that I've not mentioned, like Nishati, which is in electric mobility. And yeah, so those are the businesses that we run. But I'm here to talk about digital identity.
Mr. Noah, the portfolio is so huge. And if I'm to describe it, it's really going to take a couple of, you know, to talk about it. But let me be specific on the identity and KYC. Where do you see, let me start with the market or the public. Is there any framework where they are able to participate? And if yes, have you created opportunities where people can participate, those who are on Zoom, those who are watching you on the YouTube? They're able to ask you questions, and I'm about to open their questions. Please, if you have a question directly to Mr. Noah, kindly, if you've been following this series of the videos, note it somewhere in the comment section. We're going to read it. But before we go to the comment section to read your questions, is there any framework that you've put together so that the market, I mean the people, can benefit in terms of either spots for them, employment for them, or it's a technology for the government to consume?
Okay, so I'm going to answer that question in 3 parts, maybe. And I'll start by saying, as with any technology, there are 3 aspects to a technology. There's what happens in the back end, and there's what happens on the public, on the usable side. And so we have to understand that all technologies have that duality. For example, if you're using WhatsApp, you have the WhatsApp app in your phone, and then you have the then you have the back end, the technology that relays these messages, encrypts them, and makes sure that there's communication happening. And so with digital identity and KYC, particularly on blockchain, you also have that part. You have the part that is the engine behind the scenes, and then you have the front end side, which has different benefits. In some applications, the end user might participate. In other applications, it is simply an improvement in efficiency. And so both of them speak to the benefit of blockchain. So for example, I'll talk about a particular use case that we deployed with our telecommunication regulator here in Uganda. And to that particular problem, what we were solving was the ability to match one-to-one a SIM card and a national ID. Now that sounds simple until you discover that one of the biggest causes of fraud in mobile money is fake SIM cards. And I'm sure you've heard about all these scams that come where someone calls you, say, hey, you want money, send this code to this number, and many people are defrauded. It's actually one of the highest crime rates, electronic crime rates in Uganda, comes from mobile money. And at the root of it is SIM cards that are erroneously registered. So even if you know the number, even if investigations are conducted, what happens at the end of the day is that you reach a dead end because that particular SIM card was erroneously registered. So what our platform does by introducing a blockchain, because you cannot have a double entry, and double entry means you cannot have two entries that are the same, meaning that you can't have, you're guaranteed of uniqueness. It's one of the first technologies that can absolutely guarantee you of uniqueness, meaning that if you have that attestation is whereby you confirm that one SIM has one NIN. That attestation captured on the blockchain reduces significantly the ease at which criminals are able to multiply fake SIM cards, reducing crime. Now, in that application, as much as blockchain is very profound in the back end, you will notice that on the front end, users don't engage with it at all. All you'll notice is that maybe the next time you go and get a SIM card, it's much faster for you to get a SIM card. But there's no direct way that, before I even made this comment, many people who have bought SIM cards recently did not even have a clue that that process of buying a SIM card was captured on a blockchain. And so that is an example of a back-end benefit. There are other front-end benefits, like, for example, digital identities on your smartphone, your ability to be able to control your identity on your smartphone, and all the things that are connected to it. Say, for example, we foresee one of the futures we're working with, we really want to see is your ability to be able to apply, say, for example, if your passport has expired, you simply go to an app and click renew. It asks for the payment, you pay, and poof, in a few seconds, you have your digital passport on your phone. Now, that means that so many things are happening in the background, but because this is already the information that exists within government, it's simply correlating this information. If it's on a blockchain, it is your source of truth. And because it is your source of truth, you can get that service immediately. So to the people who are out there asking for how can I engage with the blockchain in terms of identity, these are some of the identities. Identity wallets. You see, the same way you have a wallet, your wallet in your pocket has a couple of things. It has money, it has different cards. It has your loyalty cards, it has your health cards, your ATM cards, and it also has your ID cards and your driving permit. All of these exist in your wallet. So your wallet plays a multifaceted role. And that's the same way your digital wallet, again, will start playing. Because the common thing you have across all these things that are in your wallet is that they capture a form of your identity. Same thing between your national ID and your driving permit. These are just unique ways. The common thing between them is your NIN. So in this case, it authenticates your NIN to give you legal right to drive. The other NIN, the other one authenticates you to prove that you're actually a Ugandan and that you have a proof of address, you have where you live, and it captures all that information. So those are some of the examples on which your wallet has. Like if you go with your health card keeps information about your health record. Now that one can also be digitized and put in a wallet, and you can have it mobile so that it is no longer resident with either the insurance company or someone else, but it is resident in your wallet, in your control. Now, those are opportunities we want to unlock with blockchain. They cannot exist right now because there is no technology. A database technology has a copy of your data somewhere. And in the more places you use it, the more you leave your data trail everywhere. So for example, Daniel, think of how many times you've gone to the hospital and paid and used their services. Every time you're leaving your footprint there, you're leaving a portion of your health records. And the more hospitals you go to, the more you're distributing that record across. And so you do not know how this information is being used. But if all this information was resident in your digital wallet, which has your digital identity, every time you go to the hospital, a transaction would happen and they would ask you, okay, the hospital X, you're going to get a checkup, for example, hospital X has asked for your name and address. You then authenticate and authorize that use of that information within your app, your identity app. Then after some tests, they want to say, okay, fine, the hospital wants to get access to your medical history. They say they want to diagnose something and they will need access to your medical history. You then give them permission to access that portion of your identity that keeps this medical history. So you no longer have to leave your data all over the place, but rather you move with your portable data within your wallet. And that is something called the identity mobility or health record mobility, that can now be, it can be a reality, because now we have a technology that can store this data securely while keeping you in control. So you don't have to trust some database somewhere and some database admin somewhere who you don't know, but rather you have this in your possession and you can give access to someone, the person who you're authorized to give access to. And the interesting thing here is that after the transaction has happened, after you've gotten your medication and you've gone home, you can revoke that access. So they no longer have access to your personal data. And all these are enshrined in our data privacy law. So that's just some examples of front-end features that people can look forward to because of digital identities empowered by blockchain, but then also the back-end features that can be enjoyed even without the public knowing that the blockchain is behind it.
We are actually remaining with 12 minutes to end the entire session. So kindly let me request our chat section to be up and running, because we want you to get some questions from people. And also we want to say thank you so much for the time you've also allocated from the word go. It has been a marathon. I know we've not even exhausted 1% of what Savannah Group is doing, but as time goes on our roadmap, of course, we're going to have plenty. This is Andrew Jock Amos. As Savannah Group, what are you doing to let government understand the importance of adopting crypto or blockchain technology as a whole? This is because Central still doesn't allow transactions of Bitcoin. I am correct. I am saying this because Binance Uganda got closed before living up. So it's full capacity. It's living up to its full capacity. Wow, the question is quite, I don't know whether you've got it well. Are you able to read also from our side?
Yes, I'm able to read them. And so Andrew is asking, what is Savannah Group doing to sensitize, to help the government understand the importance of adopting crypto and blockchain as a whole? This is because I am assuming he's talking about the central bank still doesn't allow transactions of Bitcoin, if I'm correct, and because he's saying Binance was closed before living to its full capacity. So there's a lot of information there, maybe to correct the perception. Binance did not close. Binance Uganda did not close it. Simply, the portal that they created simply was transferred to Binance.com. And so they are still able to serve Ugandans from their Binance.com portal. So, and so they didn't close, and they were not closed by anyone. What recently happened is that BOU closed off transactions between crypto companies and mobile money. And that one, of course, had its effect on the economy, the Bitcoin and the crypto economy. However, there has been engagement. The central bank has been engaging the regulators. They have been engaging. We have been engaging the regulators. We've been engaging through the Blockchain Association of Uganda. And so a lot of dialogue is happening to get them to understand the technology, blockchain and crypto, and then come up with friendlier approach to it. And in all fairness, a central bank is a massive organization. It takes a lot of mobilization. Even in these countries where this is legal, it didn't take them overnight. They have been lobbying, lots of money spent lobbying for years before they even got to where they are now. So in all fairness, to cut the Uganda government some slack, they're actually moving pretty within step of what many other countries are going through. And also realize they also have an entire economy to think about. And so because sometimes as enthusiasts, we get caught up in the trap of wanting things to be done quickly. And we forget that the central bank is a custodian of the entire Ugandan economy. And so they are risk averse, but they're risk averse by definition. They have to be risk averse because they're protecting an entire economy, and they don't want anything to happen that can cause a disruption, for people who know about crypto and people who don't. So gathering information about this is the primary thing. So we are availing a lot of information to them so that they can understand what it is, and so that when they come up with regulation, it does the thing as protecting users. It protects users as well as protecting the people that are participating in this business, because they are responsible for all Ugandans, both crypto enthusiasts and those who are not. And you and I know that the scammers are always ahead of the good people. Now, because the scammers are always ahead of the good people, they give us a bad name. They give the crypto industry a bad name. And so there we have to clean up that act. We have to make sure that everyone is on board. So there's work happening in the ministry. Whether they have the ones blocked, they have not blocked. They cannot block, you cannot block Bitcoin transactions. Bitcoin is decentralized. There is no one area you can go and block it. So those transactions still happen. There are many Ugandans that are transacting Bitcoin, so that still happens. The only thing that was blocked was mobile money. There are still peer-to-peer ways in which you can do it. You can get crypto in Uganda. So that one is still up and running.
Okay, the other question is from Desh. Desh is asking that, I am a big gamer. I am a big game player, especially racing and football. If we can have a link for Tuzanye, I would personally be grateful. When free, I can enjoy the games and earn. Link, please.
Yeah, so I know we have very many gamers in Uganda, by the way, and you can go to tuzanye.com anytime you're looking for sports people. We'll call them. But then one thing I've discovered, even the most ardent enthusiasts in gaming in Uganda don't come anywhere close to professional grade gaming. And I would argue that very few, because number one, I would then ask, on what platforms do you play your games? Because the people who play in the professional platforms pay for low latency access to internet. So that, because in gaming, you're working with microseconds. You're working with microsecond precision. And with microsecond precision, you cannot have a laggy internet. So number one, you're investing in very high capacity internet, low latency internet. Number two, the gamers are sports people. Like the same way you can see Arsenal or Manchester United, the rigor in which those gamers go through, those players go through in terms of gymming, nutrition, exercising, even esports players go through the same. And so this is not a pastime. This is an earning. There are tournaments in which some of the teams that are playing, the prize money is in the north of $5 million. And this money is not just given. You have a high stakes game where, you play against players all over the world. So that is the landscape in which we want to introduce gaming into Uganda, so that we can play at that professional level. And they have been there. We've gotten some people on our team who are, are able to play at the international scene, but then even then, we are nowhere close to anywhere close to where the best are. But that shouldn't discourage anyone. You can just go to tuzanye.com, and leave us a comment there, and someone will be in touch. And we are trying to make this as open as to many people as possible. Set up a guild somewhere, rally communities, and start playing this play-to-earn games. But play-to-earn games are still in development. They're still new. So you're not seeing any AAA title there now, but they will come.
Okay, thank you so much. As I'm winding up, let me wind up with these two questions. Let's go back to the chat, please. We are going to open for two people to ask questions live, but because they have raised their hands, but before they come, in the chat section, we have someone is asking Aunis that, in line with health, how often is patient confidentiality not breached?
In line with health, how often is patient confidentiality not breached?
Yes, with the application in regards to the development on the identity.
So the scenario I painted earlier is a scenario we are working towards. So we are engaging. We've done some work with Ministry of Health, and we are also talking to the private healthcare providers. And so this product is not out there yet, but this is something that we are working towards. And the problem we are solving is actually that patient confidentiality. Because right now, I would say it's almost non-existent, because the minute you go to a hospital and leave your data there, first of all, you're writing in a book that is accessible by very many people. So you don't know who is even reading that you had a doctor's visit. And even if they're using a platform, you don't know how this data is being used in different spaces. You don't know how, after you leave the hospital, whether they analyze that data or whether someone pays them to get that data. So you have to be, it's a trust, it's a blind trust we have to the system. But when what we're trying to work on is assured privacy and assured confidentiality. You are assured that your information is kept private because you're the one who controls access to it. And so you can grant access to a healthcare provider or an insurance company or a doctor to view your data. And then after that has happened, you can revoke that access so that you're sure that no one else is viewing your data, your personal information. So this is it's a scenario we're working towards. This is really, it's called health record portability, but also health record privacy. So that again, another thing you also notice is that you can go from one healthcare provider to another without having to walk around with your file. So if you go to a new healthcare provider and they need your history, they can access it from you because it's available.
Well, thank you so much. Let's end with this question. Then we promote the two people who want to ask their questions. Crypto Ed is asking that, thank you so much for the insightful presentation on the use of block. Please, if they have promoted you, kindly unmute yourself. I mean, mute yourself so that we don't get the feedback. Thank you so much for the insightful presentation on the use of blockchain in KYC. As someone who is not a developer or a tech professional, I'm curious to know what opportunities exist for the non-tech individuals in the Web3 space. Are there specific roles or skill sets that are in demand for non-technical professionals to contribute to and benefit from this emerging technology ecosystem?
Yes, the answer is yes. It depends. You see, there are many levels in which you can participate in this industry. Number one is to understand the technology and what disruption it can cause, because it is causing a disruption. So understanding what disruption it can cause, you can then see, okay, fine, it's going to change this, and this. But to answer a question more directly, skill sets like lawyers. Now, one of the things that blockchain does really well is what they call smart contracts. Now, a smart contract is as it sounds. It's a contract that is smart, a contract that can self-execute. I was explaining something to some people earlier today, and I was telling them that, you see, even when you get into a land deal, you sign a contract, the person signs a contract, and for example, once there's an exchange of titles, there's supposed to be money transfer. But that contract is useless until there is value transferred. So you can sign all the papers you want, but you'll only release that title once money has hit your account. You understand? So the execution of that contract is dependent on something totally different. That's why many of these contracts are signed in banks. Because a person wants assurance that they'll get their money, immediately they hand over the title. So what in the digital world, because blockchain can host value on it, you can have a smart contract that dictates that immediately the seller appends their signature to the sale agreement, money is automatically transferred to their wallet. And that one can be assured because it's a smart contract. So now there you will see that you have many players, not just the technical people who code. You need a lawyer who understands how the transaction happens to design that smart contract and then make sure that the coder puts in the right thing. And so there you see that there's another application of a different skill set, but understanding how blockchain will affect, say, law. The example of healthcare, I've also given you the example of healthcare, how using blockchain for health records can affect the way doctors interface with patients. It affects the way insurers interface with their premium holders. And you find that there you need to see people like actuarial scientists. Actuarial scientists are the people who study insurance and design insurance packages. Now, with the advent of blockchain, you find that you now need actuarial scientists or auditors as well. Now, for example, when you're doing a blockchain smart contract, you need an auditor to make sure that it is sound and it won't cause problems, especially if you're working with things like decentralized autonomous organizations that deal with money. The accounting must be sound. So all these skill sets are needed on top of that, of those skill sets of coding and engineering. So it is not only for coders and engineers, also, artists. Applying blockchain to art is how you get NFTs. And so you find artists are now expressing themselves in various digital ways by using blockchain. And so not many professions are left behind. You just have to understand, going back to my original point, understanding how the technology works, understanding how it is going to affect your industry, and then preparing for it and starting to see how you can apply that technology to your industry. The internet did not get rid of lawyers. The internet did not get rid of artists. The internet did not get rid of poets. The internet did not get rid of all these other professions that are non-technical. What it did, it gave them an opportunity to express themselves in different new ways. Same thing with blockchain.
Well, thank you so much. I'm afraid there's a premiere of your videos, which is our fourth episode. It's going to premiere at exactly 10 p.m. East African Standard Time. So I'm afraid we may not take more than one question. Probably this goes to Tone Chibirige. If you can unmute yourself, you could be the lucky winner to ask your question. But please keep those questions coming through. There's already a virtual assistant trying to answer, and most of them will be addressed to Mr. Noah on his email, so that they're able to answer each one of you in your emails. Mr. Ivaibi, as you're also coming through,
you can use Twitter.
They can use Twitter?
Yes, they can use Twitter because it's easier.
What's your Twitter handle?
Many more people. At NORYO.
At N?
ORYO.
ORYO. So please go there and also make sure that you follow the story. Mr. Ivaibi, are you there?
Yes, I am, Daniel.
Good. So you can probably join us here as we are giving a benediction to this. We are coming to the close. Chibirige, you didn't miss.
Yes. Yes, I'm here around. I just want to phrase my question.
Because we are about to close.
Oh, yes. Yes, good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
Yes.
Good evening.
Yes, now I have my question on the Web3. I would like to be enlightened more about how is it going to be working? Like, is it going to be like as we see Bitcoin, because Web3 mostly is like basing on mining stuff. How are we going to be capable of buying the tokens in Web3? And then, do they have any connection with AI, the artificial intelligence, or they differ? That is my question.
Okay, maybe I can just take a stab at it, and maybe Festo can come in. So Web3 is, in simple terms, very simple terms, this is the third evolution of the internet. The first one, the reason why it is Web3. Web 1 is where you had static pages on the internet. You couldn't interact with anything. It was like a magazine. It was like an online magazine. You just read, and that is it. The second version, Tony, could you mute, please?
Okay.
Chibirige,
Okay.
they are trying to answer you, but you are not attentive.
Yeah. The second version of the internet was Web 2, where you could read and interact, read and write, and interact with the content online. And the full expression of this is social media, where you're interacting, you build communities online, you can follow, people follow you, you can have your own TV station on YouTube, you can have your own radio station on Twitter. So basically, you're creating content and consuming content. Now, the only piece that was missing is execution, meaning that you can have all this value online, but there was no way in which that value can be represented online. The representation of that value was offline through the banking systems or the payment systems. Now, Web3 introduces execution online, meaning you can create value, get rewarded for that value online without having to talk to a bank or to a third party. So that is read, write, execute. Now, that one is characterized a lot by crypto, because crypto is one that brings this transaction. So you can have purely online transaction without having to involve a bank or a payment platform. But then it's also introducing other forms of expression, things like I talked about NFTs. NFTs also bring new ways in which value can be captured in art and in unique applications. It also brings things like augmented reality and virtual reality. All these expressions, because with virtual reality, you can have an online experience and be able to transact in that online experience. There are things like virtual land, where you can build, virtual real estate, and all these are expressions of Web3. And I remember there was one concert, I think it was Snoop Dogg, who had a concert online in the metaverse. When you hear things like metaverse, that is a full expression of Web3. So Web3 is a collection of all these technologies that will give internet a different expression, a more immersive expression, where you can both not only create and consume content, but you can also monetize that content purely online without having to get offline. And so that is Web3. Does it involve AI? Yes, it does. It involves many other technologies. There's AI, there's augmented reality, virtual reality, and the rest. First, have I left anything out?
I think you haven't left anything out. The explanation was crystal clear, except if they could want me to expound more. We talked about the metaverse, and we are soon going to cover metaverse in depth. So right now, a lot of people are still stuck in the Web 2. The Web 2 offers sight and sound. You are able to see me, you are able to hear what I'm talking. That is the Web 2. The Web 3 offers a deeper experience, like what I was talking about in my video that was premiered. I said that I gave an example of the lockdown. When we were in the lockdown, you could not travel to get to see your mom. You could not be able to have play probably a game together. So Web3 offers more than just sight and sound. It offers the real experience. I talked about holograms, and I talked about how spaces like Twitter Spaces and Zoom calls can be replaced by us getting into one room in our digital avatar spaces, and you can be able to see and experience my facial expressions. You can experience my movements. We can be able to interact in our digital avatar state, and things like cryptocurrencies facilitate these. How blockchain and cryptocurrencies and NFTs come in, they facilitate the world around us, the digital world around us. Cryptocurrencies will facilitate the payments, because you cannot be in your digital avatar state and then be able to hold paper money. You can't, but you can be able to acquire payments in cryptocurrencies. This is how they relate. And also it relates to artificial intelligence in a way that you will be able to get to different spaces. Your avatar will be able to represent you in some spaces without you actually being there. This is how they correlate. So we are going to study more about Web3, and as I think as we study more, you're going to realize that they are codependent. For those people that have been playing games onto the internet like Roblox, Grand Theft Auto, Fortnite, you already know that these games have created their own digital worlds, their own storylines, characters, currencies. It's a whole ecosystem. It is an entire ecosystem. So this Web3 doesn't leave out anything. It's an entire ecosystem that is supported by the growth in computing power and also the growth in blockchain technology and the growth in the internet technology.
Thank you so much, our team. You've been a great, of course, problem solvers. You've poured a lot of knowledge. Noah, we can't thank you enough because you've fed us on the cup of wisdom that the Lord has blessed you with, and also the same applies
Thank
to
you so
Festo.
much.
Is indeed a true son of the soil of Africa. He didn't think about himself, but also he thought about the brothers and sisters on the Africa's continent. So we look forward. I'm afraid because of time, let me give you a minute to just close it, and then we watch our premiere. It's already going live on the YouTube channel. In the next 2 minutes, it's gonna be live, and we want people to go there right now and they watch the entire story. Thank you so much. Of course, even tomorrow we are uploading another video so that we finish the series this week. Next week we are going to look at, in particular, blockchain in real estate with some good use cases. Over to you, Noah, our chief guest.
Okay, thank you, Daniel. Thank you, the team at MicroPlus Labs. Thank you, Festo, and everyone for the opportunity to talk about blockchain and the potential we have. My parting shots are basically that we in Africa are at the starting point as many other countries, and so this race is ours to lose. We have everything to gain; it's ours to lose. So. My encouragement is let people be curious, find out how we can use these technologies to make this continent better, to unlock a lot of value. There is $1.7 trillion locked up in blockchain applications that can be unlocked in the next 7 years. And so we can either participate in that or we can leave it to the people who are more aggressive. And I implore us to be the former. Let's be the hungry people that take this God-given opportunity to us to make this continent better. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Noah. Yes, this is an opportunity that is for our time, and there are no any other players that are going to help us take it except us. And some of us started at a very early age where information was very scarce. There was actually little or no information in almost in many places, but we were able to get several other resources in some ways and get better at it. Our presenters like Noah began on zero, and several other presenters also began on zero. You guys have an opportunity to begin with people you can look up to. And you also have the opportunity to continue fostering the growth of this technology. Like Noah has mentioned, there is a lot of potential in this technology, and it has the potential to grow you financially. But again, it also has the potential to grow us as a nation and as Africa. So let's try to do our best. Let's try to do our best. We are not in an era where we are going to fight for independency. We are going to fight for several other things, but now we are in an era where we fight to take on the fourth industrial revolution so that we can impact our lives and also impact generations to come. So if you can be a part of writing history for Africa, it's your duty to start now by following and sharing as much content as you can for MicroPlus Labs, by also studying more and trying to create those startups that are going to help Africa as a nation. Because where this knowledge ends is you creating a user case onto this technology and also bring it up to light so that we can create the next unicorns that come from Africa. And many people in the blockchain space that are already developed are willing to support you. They are willing to support you, and we are willing to learn from each other. Most of us are still learning, by the way. We are all still learning in this space. So let's not take it that you guys are late. You guys are still early. You are still early, and we still have a lot to do for our children's sake, for their children's sake, and for the sake of our continent. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much for those of you who've been watching us on all the social platforms, YouTube channel. We've been on a webinar. We've hosted a couple of gentlemen here, Mr. Noah Balinsamv, the head of digital technologies at one of the biggest firms in Africa, that is Savannah Group. We've been with him for the whole of last week and this week. And we are trying to finish blockchain use cases. This time round, we've been with him, and it has been wonderful. So we look forward to have you this coming week with a lot of insights and exposure on what is going to be done. A special thanks to all our leaders across Africa, in Ghana, Nigeria, South Africa, Togo, Namibia, Botswana, Tanzania, Rwanda, Burundi. We all salute you. We believe that this is a wealthy transformation, and we are building a movement of 1 million people with the same like mind. We consume all our local products on blockchain, and the same applies. We are attracting all the stakeholders in the industry to show them that Africa is another giant economy that is coming through. Thank you so much. God bless you. See you tomorrow, and have a lovely evening.
Thank you, Daniel.